So today I have Mrs. Walls, Mrs. Karen Walls, our violin faculty member. And we're just going to chat a little bit about the Suzuki method and why it's important to her and some great stories about her students. So Mrs. Walls, tell us how you came to know the Suzuki method and why you chose it for your preferred way of teaching.
When my daughter was 6 years old, she really wanted to take violin. And I had been playing in the Philharmonic Orchestra, and she came to all those concerts, and she just, I think, was really interested. But the teacher I went to didn't teach littles. So she told me about another teacher that taught this thing called the Suzuki method, and I thought I'd never heard of that. So we started lessons with him, and I was just so impressed by how it works, where she learned how to hold the violin first. She learned how to make her bow hold before ever putting it together with the violin. So they're learning those skills separately. And I just saw the good technique she was learning right from the get-go, technique that I didn't get when I learned at 10 in the public schools. And you're given the violin and the bow and the book and the stand, and you sit here, you look at this note, and everybody plucks together. And my bow hold was not good. My violin hold was never good because I just thought you could hold it like this and you could hold the bow like that. So it took me several years to do what Rachel started learning right from the get-go. And I was hooked.
That's awesome. That's great. But what do you remember about her being a really little beginner? Like what aha moments did you have as a parent when you were first practicing with her as a 6-year-old beginner?
That she could make good tone on the violin, like once she was able to put the two together and start her Indiana stops. And I just thought, wow, that sounds really good. And then how just easily picking up skills little by little just led to success. I just really think that's wonderful. So
Did was she like ravenous for the next successful thing when she was little? Did she feel that success and did it kind of grow on her?
did, yes. And then going to the group classes, that was good for her too, to be around the other kids and to know what's coming ahead. And she would look forward to being able to play those pieces and get all excited. So yeah.
You remember, I know Rachel's right, what she's a 20 something, she's a professional teacher now. So do you remember some of the struggles when she was that little? Do you remember? Because I think everybody looks at other people and is like, oh, their child just begs and smiles every time they play the instrument. Do you remember any of those struggles and how you made it through?
Yes, because I didn't have, I didn't feel like I had the training to know how to practice with her at home. And that's something I've had to learn over the years. And as I'm teaching parents now how to do it, I feel like I could do it much better now than I did back then. We had many episodes of tears and just her wanting just me to go away so she could practice and me not bother her. ah,
That's a common one, that is. And you have to find just like, is there that just one little thing I can help you with, and then I'll let you do these other things. So it's not a struggle.
I would say I am not a Suzuki parent success.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
My second daughter, Megan, we started her on violin at 5, and then she wanted to switch to viola so she wouldn't be like her sister. And that was just, it wasn't the good thing to do. Even though I homeschooled my kids, I could not teach them the instrument.
They say you should never teach your own children the instrument. So
Yeah.
what values within the Suzuki method most resonate with just like your values as a person that kind of draw you in?
Yes, it's the nurturing that the parent and child get to have together. And had I understood that early on, I think I would have done better. But now, as I'm going through it, I've been teaching now for 20 years, Sarah.
Oh, Karen, that's great.
So as I've seen, and as I've been, as I do my education and read and grow and learn, I just see that the whole process can be a thing of real joy if parents can just step away from the heart of it, and hard, HARD, and know that if you have a day that's just awful, just make it fun and enjoy the time with your child, because that's most important over the whole skill learning. It's most important that your child knows that they are supported, and they're gonna just get your love no matter what, whether they play a wrong note or not. It's at the end of the day, it's the relationship you have with your child that's key. And that's what I think Suzuki really wanted in the relationship, was a nurturing environment.
That's so neat. I'm reflecting what you said about nurturing that relationship. As I was driving Brian to his lesson yesterday, he's 14 now, can you believe that? And it was so neat to carve that time out, just the two of us. Because in a family of 5, you don't always carve out one-on-one time with your child. I mean, you want to, but then just life happens. And so it was so neat to I have that date with him every week. And I remember back to when he was real little, and I get so worried that I couldn't get him to curve his pinky on his bow hold. And we would maybe butt heads in lessons. And, those are the little moments that I would probably be a little more lenient now, knowing that longer term, it's just that time that you're spending together. And if you can make it enjoyable along the way.
Yeah, that's what I want to tell all you parents, that it's let the little minute things go, and just know that your child is learning something huge. Even if they're not going to be professional violinists, they're still learning something so amazing, in that they're learning perseverance and discipline. And when I had a student this summer practice every day of the summer and earn her practice award of a Grader's gift card, I was like, wow. She really honed in on that. So
awesome. Do you have any neat stories that parents have shared with you about a special moment, or an aha moment that their family had, or something the student said to you that just blew you away? Wow, they really got something big out of this.
Well, let's see. I'm thinking of a parent back several years ago who just couldn't figure out how to practice with her little daughter, and it was a new little one that was 4, and the parent just thought, I just don't know how to practice with her, or when to practice, or how to get it done. And so they just weren't practicing, and no skills were getting learned. And when I just kind of made just the constant little mantra of just find a time each day and keep it consistent. So she said, I think it was a couple weeks later in this whole process, that the mom came to me and said, you know what? We found a time that works. And it's when I'm just so tired, but my daughter will not go to bed until she has practiced. So it's after we eat dinner, after she's had her bath, she's got her pajamas, she wants to practice. And now we do it every day. And so that was something. The mom said, even though I'm so tired, I have to do it because she wants to do it. And we've just made that our constant time that we do it. And so it works for them. And I just think that's wonderful, because it really helped get the skills going, and it really helped the daughter see that, oh yeah, when I do practice, I can gain some success.
Oh, that's neat. Well, and every family has to figure out what works for them. It's not going to work the same for everybody's schedules and things. So
yeah. So
what are some of your favorite memories in terms of before COVID maybe, but things that you've done with your students that have been really memorable? I know you're great about taking students out in the community. Do you have any fun stories to share about that?
Yes, one year I took my students to a nursing home and played for people. It was a rehab home or rehab facility, and we just walked in and played our songs, and the residents were so kind. And when we were done playing, one lady just was so touched. She said, would you just stay right here? I'm going to go back to my room. And she came back and she brought me this beautiful beaded bracelet she had made. And she said, I want to give this to you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She said, I did not know young children could do this. And she was so just blessed by that. And then there was another lady there. This doesn't relate to the kids so much, but there was another lady there that didn't talk at all. But as I walked by, she held out her hands and I said, "Oh, hello." And so she just actually grabbed my violin and bow and started a fiddle tune just right there. She
That's so neat.
was so funny. And yeah, so those were two special moments. And then taking the kids last year to the North Central Lollipop concert with
That
the
was fun. I think that was one of the last things we did before everything shut down.
twins, and it was such a good time. And the
That
kids,
was such a good concert.
and they had a it was just in the lobby, but boy, we got such a big crowd to watch those kids play their pieces. It was really,
And they got a kick out of it. They could tell, like, oh, these people are listening to me, and I'm proud of what I'm doing. That was kind of neat. That
yes, yes.
was cool.
Another little student that in kindergarten, they had a talent show, and so she just tried out for this talent show, and on her violin playing Twinkle Twinkle, probably Indiana Stop Stop, and she got picked to play. And I don't think many kindergartners in that school got picked to do anything, and she got picked to play, and she went up on that stage in front of hundreds of kids and played her piece so well. It was just something she just wanted to share, and it was really, really good.
That's
Yeah.
neat. That's neat. How do you talk to your parents, the parents in your studio, about creating good habits, or how do you talk them through, like what you said? You shared a little story earlier about kind of a difficult practice routines. Do you have any tips or any ideas for parents that are maybe looking to improve their practice routines?
Well, when I get a new student that's young, I try to help the parents, and this is in our like parent little support little kind of curriculum we made, but we talk to them about before you even start practicing with the instrument, start your just activity time, we call it, where you're just going to sit down 10 to 15 minutes with your child and do an activity so they're and do it at the same time each day so that they're going to eventually move into the more routine of practice with you, and that can really help make that time special for them to know that, oh, this is my time with mom, or this is my time with dad, or whoever is the practice partner, and get that established early. And I think that can really help. I know when kids get into the middle school years, life gets a little more crazy and busy. I understand that. And I have tried to encourage kids to, when you get home from school, open up your violin, get your bow ready. Even if you can't practice right then, you have to go do homework or whatever. As you walk by, you'll see it out, it's ready to go. Pick it up and play a scale. Pick it up and go through the little exercise I gave you to do, just so that it's not just sitting in its case, not being opened for, several days in a row. Try to at least keep it out and keep it ready to go, so that even if you don't think you have time, even a couple minutes worth can make a difference.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's establishing that routine and
Yeah.
making it part of your daily work.
It
Yeah,
does have to be part of the daily routine, I feel like. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And it's almost like once it gets established, then it's like something's missing. It's like if you didn't brush your teeth, you're like, oh, something's wrong. Like, so
Right, right.
talk a little bit about your experience. I know we haven't been able to do it during COVID, but with the babies and the toddlers, talk about the magic that kind of happens there, even before the age where they're learning the instrument, and kind of some of the things that you see working with the Suzuki method, even from the very young baby stage.
Oh, what I love that class, and I do miss it very much. When the parents see that the importance of repetitions. Like, I think adults, we tend to get so tired of doing the same thing over and over and over, but yet the young child needs that. And so once they see that a child is getting successful on clapping a rhythm or singing out loud during their specific time to sing, parents are just so amazed. And it's like, this is the atmosphere where we're building it continually in this class, and we're nurturing it. And it's, the kids start to feel like this is a safe place where I can sing out loud to all these people in the room. what I love is when the children are, we've got the children with us on our laps and we're doing the either the xylophone or the glockenspiel, and the kids look at their parent like, did you just see what I did? You know, and the parents look,
Oh.
yeah, and and it's you can see that relationship right there, because that's what I love about that class is the parents come and the parents are learning right along with the child, and they're the support for them. And boy, we had some really great parents in that class, and I miss them very much, and I miss the kids.
I'm
I wish we
hoping we can start it back up soon. It is a wonderful experience for them, and then it's so neat to see the students that were in that class that then continue on. And I just remember Nolan, my 12-year-old, I would take him to teach that class when he was 3 and 4, and he was kind of the older helper, but I still to this day believe a lot of his musical skills, they all were built in that, like his sense of pulse and pitch, and his rhythmic sense is so deep because we did that class for so long.
I saw it in babies, that babies, so just like the regular instrumental method, you get the CD and you get the music and you listen to it every day. So when they would come to class and start getting fussy, even the babies in this class would hear a song that they know and just instantly calm down because it's something they knew and were familiar with. And I believe they understood, they were with their parent, and it was just such a, I'm not afraid of this situation anymore, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's neat. Talk a little bit more about what you think makes the listening and the review so valuable and unique to our method, to the Suzuki method, even so much as being able to apply it to the babies. But talk a little bit about how you incorporate listening and review into your lessons and how you see it impacting your students.
Well, I think listening is the key to helping a child learn their newest piece, um, because they're going to get the melody, they're going to get the rhythm of it, and that takes away so much of the, you know, looking at the book and trying to figure out what is this rhythm. When they hear it, they just automatically know it. Um, Sometimes in a lesson, we'll go back and listen for, do you hear the staccato notes in this? This is why we need to play it this way, you know, because it's written this way in the book and that's the style of note we need. So listen for those staccato notes. Sometimes I do that in lessons. I would have to say, honestly, I don't do it very often, and I think it would be good to do it more. But when I assign that at home, I'm like, listen for this part of the song at home so you're understanding how this works. Um, yeah, did I answer everything there?
And review the how you incorporate review and how you see that impacting your students.
Well, review is really the key to success because you're going to learn best by something you know. So, like we're learning pinkies with some of the students in my studio, learning how to play with the pinky. And they know lightly row so well now because it's so ingrained in them, because it's a review piece, even if they're on perpetual motion or the minuets or whatever. Play lightly row now with your pinky, because that's something you already know, and you know what that note sounds like, so you know where exactly to get the pinky to make that E note. And so that's just one little example. It's all through the Suzuki repertoire, where what you learn in Song of the Wind, we use again in perpetual motion by keeping our finger down, or we learn it in minuet 1 and 2 and 3, and keeping a finger down to get to another note is so what we need in our skills. Um, so review is really key. So we work on it most, I would say a big chunk of the lesson is spent in the review. And I do expect the kids to review their pieces. I assign like the last 3 pieces or the most recently passed pieces are going to be what they're going to play every day of the week. The ones before that, they can play once a week. But I say, if you have any trouble with a piece, play that again the next day. So I'll do a sticky note idea practice where they'll put all their songs on a sticky note and keep it on a piece of paper or a little chart they have, and then they can move it So if you play through your twinkles and they went great, move it over and you don't have to play that for the rest of the week. Lightly row. If that didn't go so well, keep it there and play it again tomorrow. If tomorrow it goes well, move it over. And then at the end of your practice week, move them all back. And that's just a great way to keep your songs in your head and in your fingers and keeps them really relevant.
That's a great idea. I like that. And it's fun to play a song that you play well. It's just satisfying. So
When you go to group class, you're not kind of stumbling around trying to figure out, oh, I really practiced that for a while. I think I forgot.
yeah, that's great. Well, as we wrap up, do you have any advice that you would offer to either a new parent or a Suzuki parent that's on this journey?
I would say just be patient with yourself and enjoy the time with your child because it goes by so quickly that they're not needing you as much anymore in their practice and they want to be more independent. So while you've got them, in this young age of 4 to 11 or so, be there for them, be there with them, and enjoy the process and encourage their success and support the hard times with just understanding and um, just know that when you learn something new, how hard it is. And yeah, so like if you were learning a new instrument or some new skill set, just remember how hard it is because it's challenging. And one thing that I've learned from my pastor at church, he teaches us that hard things are hard. Hard things aren't bad; they're just hard. But don't be afraid of doing hard things.
That's very true. Good words of wisdom from Mrs. Walls. Thank you so much.